What if the key to understanding your life lies not in fighting your emotions, but simply understanding them? Sounds simple, doesn't it? Well, welcome back to Leading Our Own Way, because today we're diving deep in with a mental fitness coach called Carly Taylor. Here she is. She opens up about her fascinating journey and shares powerful insights about emotional intelligence. As a respected expert in ACT therapy, which is also known as acceptance commitment therapy, also the Japanese psychology, Morita, it's fascinating stuff. She's also the wife, the better half, I should say, of our previous guest, Paul Taylor, the neuroscientist that was just a few weeks ago. Carly brings, though, a unique perspective on how we can better understand and manage our emotions. Get ready for an authentic conversation about personal growth, connection, and what it truly means to live a fulfilling life. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and come back for the rest of the week here on YouTube. 5 parts. Here's Carly. Welcome to Leading Our Own Way. I'm your host, Andrew White, and this is the podcast that unveils captivating narratives of resilience and personal triumph. This podcast is for anyone seeking inspiration and insights on overcoming life's challenges. Follow and subscribe, and then we can lead together forever. Good morning, Carly Taylor. Welcome to Leading Our Own Way. How are you today?
I'm good. Thank you so much for having me. I'm really excited to be here and have a nice chat with you.
Well, that's one thing we definitely will have, is a nice chat, and I align with a lot of the things that you do, and I know we'll dive into that in a second. But first, I should mention that you are the wife of a neuroscientist. He's not just a neuroscientist. Many things that he's doing in his career. But Mr. Paul Taylor, who just appeared a matter of weeks, maybe months ago. I don't know when I'm going to drop it, but I've not dropped it yet. But Paul Taylor.
Yes, I am. But I'd prefer you to refer to me as his better half rather than just his wife.
Sorry.
That's how he refers to me. So
Good.
There you go.
You've trained him well.
Yes, yeah, absolutely.
And I love how you've got his book, Death by Comfort, in the background, which I had when I was recording with him.
Yes, yep. I've strategically put it there. So
I like it.
It's a good book. Five awards he's got. So yeah, it's been great. And he's got another book on the way. He's actually writing the first draft, finishing the first draft. The deadline's this weekend. So yeah.
That's called Hardiness, isn't it?
Hardiness. The title's changed. The Hardiness Effect. I don't know if I was supposed to. Well, hopefully by the time this comes out, it'll be out.
Paul. Sorry.
Whoops, sorry. Better trademark that.
Yeah, quick. Otherwise, I'm taking it. No, he's. I love his book, and I'm really excited for the next book. And I want a copy. I'm going to get a copy right here on the shelves to put it on, because I want all my books. Well, did you have with Death by Comfort? Were you a part of that? Did you look it over for Paul? Did he sit on the couch and say, "Can you just read over this for me"?
Yeah, definitely. I was part of the there was constant, can you read this, edit it, write on it, even just discussing the topics, and I'm always there in the background.
I'm sure you are. As you do on his podcast too.
Yes, yeah. So his podcast, so it started off on a Monday. We were doing these Mojo Mondays together. And then he was just getting super, super busy with his PhD and book and work and everything. And then we started doing them very late on a Sunday night, which was annoying because, that's, family time at Sunday night. You don't want to be working on a Sunday night. So I said to him, why don't I just do solo just for a while until, you're freed up so we can do a few at once. And then it's just continued. So I've been doing the Mojo Monday slots every Monday, obviously. And they're usually under 10 minutes. And I want to make them as practical and as useful and valuable as possible. So, and they're going well. So I think I'll just continue doing them.
You've got your chapter of the podcast now, haven't you? It's amazing.
Yeah. Special guest.
It's brilliant. And so if anyone is tuning in, please go and listen to the Paul Taylor podcast, even if it's just for Carly on a Mojo Monday. Wisdom Wednesdays as well, you've got with Paul does on a Wisdom Wednesdays. Or is it Wednesday Wisdom?
No, Wisdom Wednesday. So
Yeah.
so Monday's the really short one, which people love because they can just, like, if they're driving to work or just doing a short trip, it's like, 7 to 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Wisdom Wednesdays, Paul gets some cutting edge research, and because he's a pracademic, so he dissects the research and makes it into into the information or the content that people are going to understand. So whether it's on nutrition or exercise, longevity, resilience, all the topics. And then on Sunday morning, he has a guest. So, and that one goes for sort of around an hour. So we get 3 episodes a week.
Yeah, amazing. I tune into quite a lot. Actually, a colleague at a school that I teach at introduced me to Paul's podcast. I was like, oh, and she said, you should get him on. I was like, I'm never going to be able to get Paul on. And here we are. I'm speaking to his better half, Carly.
Yeah, he's better half. Yes, thank you.
There you go. I was nearly saying wife then. So with Mojo Mondays then, with you in mind, what are some of the, tell our viewers, what are some of the things that you talk about as a range of topics?
Yeah, I mean, the topics cover all kind of everyday life stuff, and I really want to give people skills for life and guides for life. And I talk a lot about how to manage or accept the emotions that come up, so anxiety, overthinking, procrastination, rumination, all that stuff, and how we can still live a full life without letting those emotions, those intense emotions, and often very painful, get in the way of us living a full life. Because often what happens is we put all our focus on symptom reduction. So we focus and of course this is natural because anxiety is painful. Grief, sadness, all those inevitable emotions are really painful. So our automatic reaction is like, well, in order for me to live well, I have to get rid of those symptoms. And the risk there is that we go to the short-term relief stuff. So it's easy to scroll on social media or drink alcohol, watch Netflix, take drugs, all those things. Of course, they will get rid of the symptoms, but only short-term, and inevitably those symptoms will come back. So what I do is I give skills and strategies and tools for people to be able to make room and coexist, embrace these. I don't like the word embrace because you don't love these emotions. Why would you embrace them? But the reality is we're all human and we feel a landscape of emotions. So they are there. You will never, unless you are a complete narcissist, these emotions are going to show up. So what do you do when they do show up? So that's a lot of what I talk about is around that, because that's where my passion is.
It ties in with Paul's book, really, doesn't it? Getting what I always tend to revert to is, I think we've just become too comfortable. We have to learn to be comfortable with the uncomfortable.
That's right. Yeah. And that's what Paul goes into is a lot of physical training that you can do to increase your discomfort tolerance, things like cold water immersion, exercise, that sort of stuff. So you deliberately put yourself in uncomfortable situations. So when there's a big challenge that comes up and you're freaking out because you don't like it, you will know what to do. And that, I guess, that baseline level of tolerance goes up because you're more able to get on with what you need to do, even when those strong emotions are there.
Absolutely. Yeah, we'll come back to all of this because this is, I know we'll probably spend quite a little bit of time here. Let's go back to you though, Carly. I always ask the guests how they lead their own way, and that covers professionally, mentally, physically, emotionally, and all of those type of things. And, so tell us, how are you leading your own way today?
Okay, so I have thought about this question because I know this is your trademark question.
I love that.
And I love it. I absolutely love this question. But I'm going to be honest with you. When I first heard it, I felt, for me, it was a bit abstract. I'm thinking, because I'd never thought about it. And then I thought, well, how does a leader lead others? Okay, so if you have a leader, like a good leader, then you have confidence in them. You have trust in them that they are going to lead you on a path. So I was thinking, how do I then lead myself? So in order to lead yourself down the path that you want to be on, you have to have confidence and trust in yourself. So the Latin for confidence is confidere, which means with trust. But the only way you can trust yourself is to develop skills, so develop competence. So that got me thinking. It's like, okay, how do I then, if I'm leading my own way, how am I developing these skills to stay on this path that I want to be in, the path how I want to live my life, how I want to treat myself, how I want to treat others. And for me, it all stems around my mental fitness. So we all know physical fitness, you've got to go to the gym to build muscle. If you don't go to the gym, your muscle won't grow. And this is the same with our mental fitness. We have to put in the work. And when I talk about mental fitness, that is about the mind and the body, because the two are one. I'm a big believer in monoism, which is the brain and the body are one. If you have a strong body, you'll have a strong mind. If you have a
100%.
strong mind, your body can follow. So what I do is really focus on the fundamentals. And look, I don't want to sound like I'm some perfect person here. I'm not a member of the 5 a.m. club. I'm not like, I'm not, consistency is so important. But of course I have days where I'm not consistent and I just pick myself up for the next day. So this is all around fundamentals of wellness. So my focus consistently is around my exercise, nutrition, sleep, mindset, and connection.
Love it.
So that if you focus on those, that's your foundation. And if you have that strong foundation, then what mental fitness is about when challenges hit you, you are more able to handle them. You're more able to have trust in yourself that you'll be able to handle these challenges. So it's almost like you go into training when everything's going well for when the hard stuff hits.
I couldn't agree more. I'll share my theory. I didn't steal it from somebody. I've kind of adapted it, but I kind of remember it as the 4 C's. So the first one is what you said about connection. So I think connection and relationships are the so important. So important. So connection, relation. I've always been a relationship guy, energy guy, being around humans. I'm an only child. I do like my own peace and quiet, but I love connecting with people. There's running jokes that I'm the sort of person that would meet someone in a plane and end up going to their wedding. Well, the person who bought this mic, that's what happened. I met this woman on a plane. Yeah.
Oh, that's brilliant.
She was in a flight to New York, and I was going from Manchester to New York, and I met her, and she was so scared because she was supposed to fly on 9/11, and she didn't because of what happened. So we met on the flight in December. I was going to watch Michael Jordan play basketball in New York because he'd come out of retirement in 2001, and we became friends. And me and my partner ended up going to her wedding years later in 2011 in Spain. But we'd been friends all that time, and I met her a million times back in New York because I used to go there all the time. And so there's connection. There's an example of a joke that people have said, and me and my partner will go, yeah, that's already happened.
Yeah. That's such a good story.
Another quick one for you. I was on my 30th. My partner had bought flying lessons for me. So that night I had my party, my 30th, and one of them said, I'm surprised the bloody pilot's not coming. He walked through the door about a minute later.
Oh, that's brilliant.
Yeah, I know. Anyway, so, second one is contribution. So second C is contribution, giving things to the world, and this is I suppose the podcast, and being a teacher, even though I'm probably going to step away from that in the next few years. Fourth C is cope. So under cope is sleep, exercise, and sleep, exercise, and meditation, breath work, meditation, things like that. I don't use those words. I forgot what I use now. I've not said it for a long time. Sleep, exercise, and I suppose it's kind of the breath work and things like that. And then the fourth C would be cook. So your nutrition side of things. So I think they're the set me up beautifully. And like you, I'm human. I do get it wrong. I mess up occasionally. I drop down. I do a lot of cold water. Paul and I spoke about cold water quite deeply, and I do that, but I don't have a refrigerated one, so I rely on the earth being cold, and obviously it's been quite warm here, so that I don't get what I need from it at the moment. But we're going back in that direction, and when I can afford a refrigerated one, I will, so I can have it all year. But anyway, going off topic there, but they're my 4 C's that can connect with what you just said. So
yeah, I love that. And I think this is all around being really clear on your values. So what is important to you?
Yeah.
And values are a verb, like they're a doing thing. So, you know, we have so much choice now. We have so much choice in what we do, what we choose to eat, what we do and don't do. And I think if you are really clear on your values and what is important to you, then that is your compass. And I think we need a compass more than ever now, because it's so easy to take the easy route. But with that compass, if you know that, say, your health and fitness is important to you, and you are planning on, you know, doing a 6:30, 6 o'clock a.m. gym class before work, and you wake up and you're like, I'm just too tired. It's just so comfortable in here. I'm just going to just hit the snooze button and I can go tomorrow. And so you get this chatter in your head with all the reasons why you shouldn't go. But that voice in your head is not all of you. So if you're clear on your values and you know health and fitness is important to you, and that action of actually getting out of bed, putting your feet on the ground, getting your gym gear on and going is what you need to do, then you can have that voice chattering in the background, stay in bed, and still get up and put your gear on and go. So that's why I think that compass is so important and so powerful, because if you don't have it, every time you can just give in to that voice that's going to hold you back, because that is the voice that wants you to stay in your comfort zone.
I've got a technique for that.
We all have one. Oh, yeah?
I've got a technique for that. I can't remember where I read it. It was in some literature. I don't know if it was... I'm probably going to say Paul's book now, but I think it was way before Paul's book. It could be, yeah. But you label that part of the brain a name. So that voice you just mentioned, label it Jack, and then you can go, well, Jack, I'm not going to listen to you today. It's like having a conversation with that part of the brain. Go, Jack, I'm not going to listen to you today, mate. I need to listen to Andrew.
Yes, yeah. So what we do, and there's a lot of different versions of this. There's plenty of research behind it, because what it is that I can't remember the scientific name for it, but it's creating space between you and that voice.
Yep.
And that sort of dissonance. So we talk about the sage and the gremlin. So the gremlin is the one that wants to pull you into the comfort zone. It's like Paul will say, the gremlin's that part of you that's just a little bit shit. You know, but the gremlin's always going to be there. We all have this part of us because we naturally are drawn to comfort. It's just that now our environment is just full of comfort options. It didn't used to be back in the past. We didn't have a choice to be uncomfortable, but now we do. So that's sort of your gremlin. So it's really good to get to know your gremlin. It's like, what are the traits of your gremlin? What does your gremlin say to you? What does it do? And then you name your gremlin. And then you've got your sage, which is that wise part of you. In DBT, they call it the wise mind. And that's your sage, where it's almost like your inner coach. And so when you are really stuck, you can ask your sage, what would my sage do? What would you do in this situation? And that's the sage that guides you in that direction. All the while the gremlin's like, chatter, chatter, chatter. You just got to tell the gremlin to just sit outside. You can't ever get rid of your gremlin. You can put it in your back pocket, put it in the boot, shove it outside, and just say, look, it's trying to be helpful because it's trying to make you comfortable, but it's not helping you. Yeah. So that's kind of the little technique. And I'll just tell you a little story. I've got a client of mine, because we name our sage and gremlin. So people come up with fantastic names for them. I love it when I hear, I'm like, what's your gremlin's name? What's your sage's name? And I've got a client who called her sage Rose and her gremlin Thorn. And do you know what I loved about this is you cannot have a rose without a thorn. And the thorn is there to protect the rose, but it also can prick you and cause harm.
Yeah, so good.
I loved that analogy of the beautiful rose always has to have the thorn.
Makes sense, doesn't it?
Yeah.
What do you think then is not the worst thing a human has invented? Because the worst thing you probably answer is also benefits us. But what do you think, some of the things that we've created that was made with good intentions, but the majority of society are not maybe seeing the disadvantages of it as a physiological level now, if that makes sense.
I mean, the thing that is coming to my mind, which I think is kind of what you're talking about, is smartphones.
Oh, yeah. I wasn't even thinking that. I was actually going back probably even thousands of years, to be honest. That's where I was lying. But yeah, no, absolutely. I completely agree.
For now, yeah, I mean, the smartphone's been incredibly helpful, but it's also been a demise too in a lot of ways if it's not used properly. And I mean, we could have a whole session on the smartphone, I guess. But yeah, and again, that's the smartphone. It's you can use your phone for this exercise of just recognizing when this voice comes up. So, even I do this. Well, even I do this. Of course I do this. I think everybody does. When you've got a gap in your day where there's a chance for just a bit of stillness, nobody just sits in stillness now, just kind of thinks. Your automatic reaction is to pick up your phone, go, I'll just scroll on social media. You don't even think about it. So now I try to be more conscious of that action and create a bit of space. Maybe use my sage and gremlin and go, actually, no, I don't need to pick up my phone. There is no reason for me to pick up my phone right now, and turn my attention to something else that is important for me. So, yeah.
And if you do, it's like you just want that pleasure hit, isn't it? That dopamine hit.
Yeah.
Which we used to.
That physiological thing that's happening every time you pick up your phone. Yeah.
Yeah, because thousands of years ago, I think I was reading where, and I found this fascinating. Our ancestors would build shelter, and it would take 3-4 hours to create, and in a few days it would be gone because the weather might have destroyed it. But they've worked really hard for that dopamine hit to that sense of achievement. But now we can get the same dopamine hit just from a second. So there's basically no effort there, which is damaging to our cellular level stuff. Right? Is that scientifically correct?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. It's affecting our neural networks. It's affecting our dopamine. It's affecting our ability to read maps. It's just, there's so many different levels there. But look, it's not going away. And I think awareness is just key. I think people, the fact that it's there and it's really helpful to us in a lot of ways. And so I think that's where you've got to really focus on what you can control, and you can control how much you look at your phone. You can control how much you scroll. If you're double screening at night watching Netflix and your phone, you can put it down. Yeah. So I think this is conscious awareness. It's intentional action, and it is really getting clear of your values and why you would do that and what benefit that's going to have, because otherwise you just get sucked into that hole. And
we're all guilty. We've all been guilty, haven't we? For sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
So if somebody was listening to this now going, but Carly, I can't put it down. I know what you're saying, but I can't. What piece of advice could we give to that person? Because I've heard it before. I've said it, and I keep saying, but you can. Stop saying you can't. You just can't yet. You just got to train your brain that you can. What could we say to that person? Because I guarantee it, someone will be sat there going, I can't. I just can't. Join us tomorrow to hear more from today's incredible guests and learn valuable insights to help you lead your own way. Don't forget to subscribe. We'll see you then.